Why is Wildcard releasing ASA now? Is this just a cash grab? Is this to fix Ark? What happens if the current player base refuses to buy it? By now, most of you know that Ark Remastered was originally announced to be a free upgrade. Then shortly after, they announced it to be a new game that everyone has to pay for. And on top of that, if you enjoy playing PvP or PvE on officials, they are turning off the Ark servers, and you must buy Ark ASA to continue playing on officials. Many players are unhappy with this decision, especially since Ark ASA is just Ark 1 Remastered with some changes. With no knowledge of how these changes will affect metas and overall gameplay, ASA could potentially be a vastly different style than Ark 1. On top of this, we will not be getting all the DLCs right away, taking away the current Ark experience. The canon DLCs will be added in first, with the non-canon DLCs being added in later. All the DLCs will be released months apart. So why release the DLCs months apart and not all at once? Well, simply, they need time to actually convert the DLCs to Unreal Engine 5 and add in their gameplay mechanics and changes. How much of a change should we expect between Ark and Ark ASA? Well, if we're being told the truth, and they are rebuilding Ark in Unreal Engine 5, and not just porting over the rebuilt version of Ark from the Switch, then we should not be expecting any major changes due to time constraints, at least not at launch. Now, if they are using the rebuilt version, then we can expect a lot of changes to the gameplay and mechanics to more fit Wildcard's vision for what they want Ark to be, as updating from 4.26 or 4.27 is a simple process. Now, we have been seeing some new models coming to ASA being posted on Survive the Ark, but these shouldn't be impacted by engine version. The models themselves, visually anyway, come from a 3D program like Maya and a texturing program and have nothing to do with Unreal. If proper optimization is being followed, then the Unreal Engine 4 versus Unreal Engine 5 should make little to no difference. Let's take the sleeping bag for example. The Ark 1 sleeping bag versus the ASA sleeping bag. The ASA sleeping bag does look better, but it should just be a TLC update that would work in Unreal Engine 4 as well as 5. Where this would differ is if Unreal Engine 5 gives a higher polygon count than Unreal Engine 4, so technically models could have more physical depth to them. Should this be done though? No. Texturing should be used to give the model a better look and appearance of depth, getting a similar result to adding more polygons to get the new details, at least with a game like Ark. For instance, the sleeping bag could be made to look like the ASA version without adding a lot of new polygons by applying proper texturing. If the new sleeping bag were made with a lot more polygons than the Ark 1 sleeping bag, this could become problematic. The very nature of Ark is item replication. Every player has the same items and dinos. You need a lot of everything to compete in PvP. In a PvP instance, each player may place a lot of sleeping bags. For instance, if the sleeping bags are made with too many polygons, placing too many of them could cause performance and stability issues. We could really delve into this topic, but you should have the basic idea, so let's move forward. The devs are hard at work making TLCs for ASA and improving the overall look, which is great. But UA5 is not required for this. So why are they upgrading to Unreal Engine 5 instead of just overhauling the looks of Ark with TLCs? And why are they charging? Let us know in the comments if you think Ark 1 owners should have to buy ASA. The previous statement the devs made about never having in-game stores or any other form of monetization beyond selling the game and DLCs have caused an issue. They limited the amount of money that could ever be made on Ark. Kind of. Currently, to bring an influx of sales, Wildcard will release a DLC or ban a mega tribe. Every year, this brings in less and less money though. Just to run Ark, Wildcard is spending around 10 to 15 million a year. Now, is this a reason to charge for remaster though? Well, they're calling it ASA, not a remaster. Why? Why the charge? Well, they need an influx of cash, but the kicker is, they were about to get that anyway. Could the charges be so they can sell NFTs, skins, dinos, in-game purchases? This is definitely a possibility. By calling the game something else and charging for it separately, they might have a legal loophole to get around their statement at the start of Ark of no microtransactions, if the statement was ever legally binding to begin with. So it is possible this is to allow microtransactions. If it is though, a high price tag shouldn't be needed. But that's the kicker, the high price tag is not necessarily for the current Ark players. I imagine there is a big issue of trying to figure out who owns what DLCs and how to give the players that own Ark and DLCs a discount. Yes, it has been done by other developers, but I imagine with all the free copies floating out there and the discounted DLCs, etc., it would be a logistical nightmare to offer a discount for ASA. What they could do is have a 3-day price that they only tell those that read their community crunches. This would allow those that own Ark to get a discount without Wildcard having to set up a system to prove the player owns Ark. Yes, some new players would get Ark ASA at a discounted price, but the current Ark players would be the ones mostly buying it. Wildcard also has other monetization options available to them. Microtransactions done right could be very profitable. Fun skins and chibis could rack up some sales. Outside of microtransactions, Wildcard could sell merch. They are missing out on a large market by not having merch, especially when the animated series drops. They could also charge a $2 to $3 a month fee to play on officials. This should cover the cost of servers and add a small profit. Instead, they are working on monetizing mods, which is weird, since mods have no promise of staying updated and the majority of players are used to free mods for most games that have mods. They could also introduce, let's say, clusters of like 10 of every map, and have them pay to win clusters, where whales can duke it out. These are just some alternatives to charging for a game that are usually more profitable. So why not offer ASA at a lower price and adopt some better monetization options? Here's the deal. Wildcard believes they do not need the current player base to buy into Ark ASA. Why? Well, it could be because of Cyberpunk. When Cyberpunk launched its animated series, it sold millions more copies to new players who didn't know anything about Cyberpunk or the issues that Cyberpunk 2077 originally had. They are working on getting the complaining and negative news coverage of Ark out of the way now, so that when ASA drops, they can drop the animated series. The idea is this will bring in a ton of new players that know nothing of Ark and are ready for the plucking. This is also why the free, non-canon maps will not be added until after most of the canon DLCs have been released. This is to get new players hooked on the canon and to drive the game towards PvE, grooming new players for Ark 2, so that Ark 2 starts off with a lot of sales on day 1. ASA also allows Wildcard to fix issues that are not possible currently due to the older engine, and will allow better experience so that the new players are not instantly turned off by Ark and Bell. It also allows for all the servers to be brand new, meaning no alpha tribes to pick on the new players. Right away, anyway, and drive them off. Though with PvP players as the minority, this should be less of a reason. If every Ark player refused to buy ASA at full price, which, let's be honest, is not going to happen, but even if it did, it would not matter. If the animated series is released on the right platforms and correctly promoted, ASA will sell millions of copies to people who have never even heard of Ark before. If you enjoyed the video, smash that like button. Have an awesome day.